Recently, the Catholic bishops of Zambia issued a statement calling for the withdrawal of the Constitution Amendment Bill number 10 from its presentation in Parliament. Father Cleophas Lungu, who is the Zambia Conference of Catholic Bishops Secretary General, sheds more light on the statement in an interview with a local TV station.
The Zambia Conference of Catholic Bishops of the considered view that if we take into account a number of aspects of the bill, firstly, the intention of the bill, secondly, the process that has led us to this place, and thirdly, the content, and fourthly, the timing of it, those aspects raise concerns with the Catholic Church in Zambia. To begin with, in terms of the main objective, when we were embarking on this journey, it was our understanding that the aim or the main objective was to address the lacunas in the amended Constitution of 2016, and that the document as it was passed and signed into law needed some refinement. Alas, to say that going into NDA for now having the bill, we have seen that we have gone beyond the original objective. There are some wholesale changes being proposed that will radically change the nature of the Constitution and even the nature of our young but maturing, democracy. In terms of the process, we believe that there hasn't been sufficient, comprehensive, and wide consultation. And at the end of the day, when you mention the issue of Bill 10, emotions raise. The bishops bemoan the fact that such an important process, such an important topic that should galvanize Zambians into one, thinking about being one, fighting a common cause, and addressing a national agenda has led us into being more polarized as a country. So if the hope was to bring the country together, we see a Zambia that is more polarized, more divided now. And we believe that going into next year, this is not a good thing. This is not the place we want to be. In terms of content, suffice to mention that yes, there are some progressive clauses in the bill, but unfortunately, the bishops have also realized that there are also some clauses within the bill that are highly contentious, that do not sit well with not only the church but also other stakeholders in the country. We believe that, as the statement says, any legitimate process of making, reviewing, and amending the supreme law of the land, which is the Constitution, needs to be premised on a process that is widely inclusive. No one should be left behind. It should be a process that is transparent. It should be a process that is accountable. It should be a process that is anchored, more especially, on the principle of consensus building. But when people are divided, when a nation is divided, you are bound to have a constitution that will not stand the test of time. The Catholic Church is not very pleased with the process, with the content, even with the timing of it. In terms of the NDF being a showcase of the best way to review, to amend, or to make a constitution, we strongly believe that that is not the best way. We just have to, first of all, go back to the basics. There are certain tenets of constitution making that we must adhere to. And one of it is the doctrine of authorship. Who are the authors of the Constitution? Who are the owners of the Constitution? The answer is very clear. It's the people. And that's why the Constitution says, we, the people, give unto ourselves. And it is not referring to a small group of people. not even mentioning, Parliament, even the NDF. It is the people of Zambia. So the question then comes, how widely consultative was the process? Remember, to have the amended constitution of 2016, there was a technical committee that went round the country, went to the grassroots, went to every district. There were national, even provincial processes of consultation that culminated into a national consultation. The NDF only had a national consultative forum. We believe if you want to change the tenets, the content of a document that was made by a wide, nationwide consultation, it is important to go back to the people and have their feel.
The other argument has been is that, well, the people that went to the NDF are leaders in different societies, different parts of our country, different communities, from the traditional aspect, from the religious side, from members of parliament. These people represented the people, as it were. Is that still not satisfactory consultation?
It's like you wanted to have consultation in your family, and you say it is enough to ask your wife, then the children will have their say through the wife or maybe through the husband. If you have an opportunity to ask the children to say what their priority needs are, you are better off to consult them and hear them express for themselves. And this is what we are saying. If the people were given an opportunity to express themselves, not through representatives, that would have been more satisfactory than what came to be. But also, I'm mindful of the fact that at times, in the due process of the NDF and the coming up of the bill, certain people were criminalized simply for discussing a document of national importance like the Constitution or the bill aiming to amend the Constitution. You remember what happened at Hotel Intercontinental? You know how cadres invaded the group, massacred people, people were assaulted simply for discussing this. And then you come up and you say, we have consulted the people. Which people? If people are not free to assemble, if people are not free to express themselves, again, the bishops are saying a constitution must be a product of engagement with all stakeholders, and it must be born out of a spirit of genuine dialogue, where people of diverse opinions and views can come around the table and conveniently and genuinely engage and grow towards a consensus of what they want for their country. We truly believe that that has not been achieved.
How much of consultation is going on with members of your church to ensure that whatever position that you have taken is a true reflection of the people's desire?
Yes, there were consultations, and consultations were wide and inclusive. And I can assure you that we did engage not only members of the church, but even members outside the church. We did engage technocrats, the experts in lawmaking and constitution making, and even experts who have helped not only this country, but other countries to come up with quality constitutions. We also engaged with other church mother bodies. So we are not thinking narrowly. We are not thinking about ourselves and what we want. In fact, let me put it this way, that we consulted widely the people of Zambia. And we are also speaking not only in terms of the Catholic community, but also especially those who are voiceless in this country. We are talking of the Catholic Church that is present not only in Lusaka, but every corner of the country. The Catholic Church is there. We have ears on the ground. We hear what people are saying. We hear what the feeling is. We have tried to whisper unto the ears of the powers that be. Now has come the time for the church to raise the volume and speak not only to the ears of the powers that be, but to speak to the conscience of the nation, to the conscience of every nation, every Zambian, to the conscience of the MPs and all the leaders. What we heard from the people through the process of consultation is actually what has been issued in the content of the statement. Basically, they are saying, yes, here and there are some good progressive clauses, but others, they fear that they are being driven by partisan interests, not the national agenda. And they are also worried about the timing, that we are going into an election period, and this thing is further polarizing the country, and that does not augur well with the agenda of having, a peaceful, credible, truthful, as well as fair elections.
What I was trying to find out is whether ordinary people were made to understand what Bill 10 was and its contents before they could give a position on whether they agree with it or not. Did you try to help them understand the bill?
Exactly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That we not only have outreach programs, we also have a network of radio stations for your information. I mean, you have names like Radio Chengelo, Radio Chikuni, Radio Liseli in Mongu, Radio Mosotunya in Livingstone. You have Radio Maria Chipata, Radio Maria Yatsani here in Lusaka. And those are avenues of the church having live programs as we are having here, and people have been airing their views. And we have been explaining to them, and we have engaged with experts to explain. And if you have any doubt that what the bishops are saying is true and is emanating from the people, you can only just wait. And if people think that they can use the arrogance of numbers, I will say, please go ahead. But we'll be back to this issue very soon. I must underline the fact that even with the process of national dialogue and reconciliation, which we spent a lot of time talking about and trying to explore as three church mother bodies, we are always there as ZCCB together with CCZ and EFZ. You cannot accuse the church of having been absent. The Catholic bishops have endeavored in the process to engage with a number of stakeholders. We had meetings with political parties. We had meetings with people from the media. We had meetings with people from the trade unions. We had meetings with traditional leaders. And we are taking down what they were submitting and what they wanted to do and how they thought the constitutional amendment process should be done. We also had meetings with a number of cabinet ministers. We have had meetings with the head of state. And if he is true to his conscience, he will not be surprised by this statement by the bishops, because they spoke their mind. We have spoken to even the highest office in the land, the head of state. We have been transparent. We have used the diplomatic route of engaging, sometimes behind doors. We have seen people have an agenda to achieve. We have tried to advise. Now is the time to let the nation know that this is our position. And the Catholic faithful also deserve to know where their shepherds, where their bishops stand on a national issue of this magnitude. But lastly, also to mention that it is unfortunate that we are where we are, but we believe that if people have a conscience, they will listen to the leaders of the church. If people have a conscience, they will listen to the voice of the voiceless. If people have a conscience, they will endeavor to back down. I always think, for example, of 1991, the then President Kenneth Kaunda had the right to finish his term of office, didn't he? But the voice on the ground said, we want to revisit the constitution. We want to have fresh elections. He cut short his term of office. At times, leadership is not just doing what is legal. Leadership is not just counting the number of MPs you have in parliament. Leadership is listening to the people because you have been employed by the people. Leadership is humility when people are saying, we don't want to go this way. Please unite us, don't divide us. This butane is dividing us as a country. Let those who have ears hear. God bless you.
Father Cleophas Lungu, Secretary General of the Zambia Conference of Catholic Bishops, shedding more light on the statement issued by the Catholic Bishops of Zambia calling for the withdrawal of the Constitution Amendment Bill number 10 from its presentation in Parliament.